Hello, hello, JJ DiGeronimo here. I just want to send a lot of love to everybody who's taking people to campus or, ending their summer or starting something new. This is such a great time. And astrologically, with Jupiter, it's just a magical time for many of us to lean into what is calling us. And I'm super excited to have this conversation today because I feel like for many of us, we're doing so much for so many people. And I think for many of us, we need to just think about where we are, how we fill up our fuel tanks, how we're taking care of ourselves. And Anya is here with us today. Anna is here with us today to really talk about the work that she's doing. She has created Embodied Wellness, which is the intersection of wellness and personal growth. And I think for many of us, we often backseat our to-dos, things that fill us up because we're getting people ready to go or to launch or onto their next chapter. And oftentimes we take those things off of our schedule that really are there to fill us up. And so I'm super excited today to talk to you about the transformational art of becoming and alchemy. I see alchemy all the time, but I'd really love to know what alchemy means to you.
I love this. Well, thank you so much, JJ, for inviting me on your incredible show. And thank you for all that you do. And thank you to the listeners for being here and sharing your time, your energy with us. And for me, alchemy is not just an art, it's a science. It is about transformation. We look at it in historical context of alchemy from lead to gold. And for me, it's like becoming who you're meant to be. It's this transformational journey that we go on of becoming who we're meant to be. So it's in that journey of going from where we are and who we are to where we desire to be and who we aspire to become.
That's beautiful. I think that's hard for people because I feel like you have to make the space. And so, do you think becoming happens when you're doing so much for so many other people?
I feel like it's both. It's like we become through interacting with others and connecting to others, and life is going to present us with the people, the opportunities, the experiences to grow and wisen us. And then there's also the intentionality and the conscious choice in choosing and shaping our becoming. It's like the clay. We are the hands that form the clay, and we get to consciously choose what shape our life, our becoming takes. And so then there's also room for the divine to come in and know that our lives and our becoming is also shaped by our divine guidance, like the hands of the divine.
I love that, Anya. So, when you say intentionality, what does that mean to you? And how can people know if they're being intentional?
I think it's so interesting when we look at, are we living our lives in reaction? Like, are we just reacting, and our schedules, our lives are so full that we're in reaction and instead of, in creation? It's interesting to note that creation and reaction contain the same letters, yet obviously can be very different meanings. And so when we're in creation, we are remembering our power to consciously choose and to consciously create our lives. And that intention is like, I am setting the intention to become this version of myself. I am setting the time aside. I'm making space in my life to focus on this. Whereas reaction is going through the motions, more disconnected from the body, and the body is our source of our power. And so when we're connected to our body, we're embodied, we are consciously creating through the vessel that we have been given.
Mm, Creating intentional creation. I love that. I think that's a great sort of thought for anyone's listening is what are you working on that you are intentionally creating intentionally? So people are not throwing it on your lap or throwing it into your schedule, but you are choosing to create time that allows you to really be in your own flow, whatever that means. And that could be building a garden, that could be weeding your garden, fostering the fruit out of your garden, that could be writing something, or maybe going to a class or even hosting a class. And so, what are you being intentional about? I love that right now because I feel like so many people in my life are getting ready for the second half of the year, and some of the things that they had planned for the first half have not even come true or even to fruition yet. And now they got to get ready to make that happen in the second half. So I think it's really important to really think about how you're spending your time and what are you choosing to align with. And I think that kind of aligns to some of the things you talk about, like the survival mode mentality. And how do you get out of like the state of I gotta into kind of a place where you're guided to what is best suited for you.
Yes, I love this so much. And for me, human design has been a huge part of that because for so many of us, we are either manifesting generators or generators. Those are, comprising 70% of the population. And so many of us operate based on shoulds and what we think we should do rather than what we desire and what truly calls us. And so it's in that moment of choosing, okay, I should do that, but is that really true for me in this moment? Because when we listen to the should, we go based on energy and conditioning rather than based on the intentions of what it needs. So we can into our body through consciousness and through that intention to know is that aligned and feel into your belly. What is it? Yes. Can you feel it? You can even place your left hand on your belly
I have
button.
no audio on you, but I'm just going to restate some of it maybe while you adjust. But so 70% of people are either generators or manifesting generators. And oftentimes we feel like we should do this, we should do that. And having sort of an internal barometer that helps you really identify, should you do that? Is that a good fit for you? Is this a good use of your time? Did I pick that up correctly?
Yes, yes, really consciously. I think, sorry, my iPhone, it started to go to my iPhone microphone. But I think really for us, like human design is like, okay, knowing what feels like a yes or what feels like a no for us, right? But also coming back to the wisdom of our body. And you can take your left hand and place it over your belly button. You're probably familiar with the belly button being a stargate, and how when we cover that stargate, we can say, body, show me what a no feels like, and then breathe. And just feel like all the sensations and feel what that no feels like in your body. And then say, body, show me what yes feels like.
Mm.
And when we have that wisdom, we can come into more intentional decision making, more intentional creation. We often experience that which we expect. So, what in your life are you expecting? When we begin to expect magic and miracles, we begin to remember our hands in the alchemy of our lives, knowing that we are not just the alchemy, but we are the alchemist, and we get to consciously choose and consciously create. Our life is the art. We are the artist, and we are also the art. We are all of it. And so when we remember that we are simply a fractal of the divine, it's like, okay, this body is the divine technology. And when we learn to code our body for creation, for radiance, rather than survival and stress, we become so much more empowered, so much more on purpose, and our potential unlocks in a whole new way.
Okay, so remind me, when you say alchemy and alchemist, what is that? I'm still trying to like wrap my head around what is that?
So I think for everyone, it's going to be different, right? Because it's like, what is abundance to you versus what is abundance to me? What is wellness to you versus what is wellness to me? Everyone has a different experience somatically and cognitively of what that might be and look like. But for me, our alchemy is, it's this journey of life. Like the book The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho, this young boy, Santiago, goes on this journey, this quest. And then he realizes in the end that it's him. You are the one. We spend so much time seeking, and like, together we seek, but in the seeking, it's this divine remembrance, knowing that everything we are seeking is within. And
I
so,
agree with you. And
yeah.
you don't know that until you go. Like I have six phases of personal awakening, and the seeking is just one of the phases. It's actually in the middle of the phases. And I feel like most people don't know they're moving into remembering, right?
Mhm.
because they don't understand like how we all fit and how our experience fits into the bigger calling of why we're on the planet. And so what you did with our belly, I often do with the pendulum, right? So show me yes, show me no. So when you put your hand on your belly, which is a stargate, and you close your eyes and you say, show me no.
Body, show me no. Yes.
Body, show me no. And I feel like all this energy is coming towards my belly button, like almost like darker energy. It's a darker feeling. And it's like closing in on my belly button.
Mm.
And then I check to make sure my feet are grounded. I kind of shake out my hands and I say, body, show me yes. It's truly amazing. I feel like a star, like this shooting up my shoulders, down my feet. And I don't think I've done the tipping forward and the tipping back, but I really love the idea about putting your hand on your belly button on that stargate. And so when people are asking, hey, can you just do this? Or do you mind doing this? Are you suggesting that you take your hand and put it on your belly button?
I am suggesting that people come into their divine remembrance by reconnecting to their body so that they know exactly what a yes feels like and a no feels like, so that you exercise that muscle so deeply and you know it so well that when you're in public and someone asks you a question and you don't have the ability to say, body, show me what the answer is, it's like you just feel it and you know it. So this is about reconnecting to your body, the source of your power, the source of your wisdom. And then as you build that strength and strengthen that trust with your body, the no and the yes becomes so clear that there's no doubt.
And what do you call that when you put your hand on your stargate?
It's like a command. You're coding your body, you're coding your mind, you're coding and creating in the field with intention.
And I love this. I love so you've created Embodied Wellness, and it really is a crossroads between wellness and personal growth. And you use all of these beautiful spiritual strategies, I would call them, and ancient wisdom to help women kind of get back into their body.
Yes. Because so much of society has taught us to look outward, to disconnect from our body, to be in our mind and analyze everything. And when we do that, we're unknowingly giving our power away. And so when we reconnect to our body, we reconnect to our power and we rise into our potential to become who we are designed to be.
And how did this work find you?
It found me through my own personal journey. I was on the path to become a medical doctor. My mom's autoimmune condition and chronic illness led me to defer from medical school for the time being. And then I pursued my own path, digging into literature, finding another way. I was going through my own personal health crisis with reproductive health issues, fertility health issues, adrenal fatigue, so many different symptoms, digestive health issues that I normalized for years. And I realized symptoms are so common, but just because they're common does not mean they're normal. And so that led me onto this whole journey of what I call my personalized PhD. And one thread of, following that inspiration and that intuition led to the next, to the next. So it was integrative nutrition, health coaching, and then yoga teacher training and breath work and all these different modalities, human design. And now it's become embodied wellness. And it was my own personal journey and evolution. I didn't have evidence that I could heal naturally, so I became the evidence.
Oh, listen, so many people that I talk to on this podcast, it's their experience becomes really how they light the way for others, which is, illuminating the path for others is stage 6. It's when you figured out how to illuminate yourself in a way that helps now allow you to help illuminate the path for others. And I feel like a lot of people that visit the show are in this last stage this is the work that they're doing now.
Yes, because it's so different. Like if I had gone to medical school and been a medical doctor, I would be an expert in the field, but not in my own body, not on the journey. And so people would come to me experiencing something and I would say, well, here's what I have learned and here's what it is. And instead of saying, I've lived that, I've experienced that too. I've been where you are and now I'm where you want to be. So I help you collapse time in the space between and let's go on this journey of transformation together, because I can show you what I have learned and what will illuminate their path through my own experience.
I love that. And I love how you really help women trust their body and their sacred messages.
Yes. Yes, because we are the divine embodied, and your embodied experience has given you so much depth, so much wisdom, so much power, so much credibility.
And so how, for a woman that's saying, yes, I'm listening to this, I'm feeling you, I want to do this, like, what is something that women could just start doing, today, just slightly different than before they started listening to this?
Say yes to what truly lights you up, to what you desire. The universe responds to yes. Yes frequency, when you feel into yes frequency in your body, it's expansive. The universe is always growing and evolving and expanding. And so are we. We are designed to grow and evolve. And so if we're saying no to our true desires, but yes to things that feel like a should and we don't want to do, we are unknowingly kind of blocking that channel for the divine to stream through us. So the more we say yes to these intuitive hits, to these desires, to the soul nudges and heart whispers, the more our path unfolds and the more radiance we experience, the more satisfaction and happiness and joy we begin to exude because we're listening to the soul.
I know this very well because I was talking to a dear friend of mine, Beckett, last week, and I woke up the other day thinking about another book, and I'm like, oh yeah, nope, I've already written 3. Like, I'm not doing another book. It is so much work, this and that. And as I was walking and talking to him, he's like, I was talking about my 3rd book and this book, and he's like, well, what one lights you up more? And I'm like, well, this new one. And he's like, well, you have to do it then. I'm like, oh no, I don't want to. But I'm excited, but I wake up thinking about it, and I'm excited when I'm starting to put the material together. So as much as like my mind doesn't want to do it, I feel like it's bubbling up within me.
Absolutely. I feel that so deeply. And what comes to mind is Stephen Pressfield's book, The War or Art of War. No, War of Art. Sorry. War of
Art,
Art.
art of
Art
war, I
of
think.
War. Art of
Yes.
War.
Yes.
My apologies. And he talks about how the more resistance you feel towards something, the more important it is for your spiritual and personal evolution and growth. And so, yes, you might resist that, but it's like, is that really you resisting it? Or is that the resistance spirit that's not even you? Or is that something else that's trying to get you distracted and into the other framework that the matrix is ingrained within us? And so what I often find is like where the resistance is, there is the gold. And it's the things that I resist the most that lead to my truest expansion and evolution and fulfillment. And so there's something here for you. And I'm so excited that you're on that journey. And that's the alchemy. That is the art and the alchemy that you are on, because it's transforming that resistance into that excitement, transforming the fear into excitement, and going along the journey, knowing that the path may be unknown, but it's up and down, and it's all the evolution and the growth that will come through the journey of creating another book and creating a new version of you in the process.
Yes, I know. I know. And so I say that because there's some people listening that are like, I can't do that, or how is that going to happen? And I would just say, like, a lot of big things that I start, my self doubt kicks in, and it is the first voice I hear all the time. And so I think having someone like you, Anya, that can talk about, how to step through things that are difficult and how to alchemize your journey in a way that can still be scary, and you can still tell yourself no, but really you want to lean into it. And how do you do that? Because I feel like a lot of people need somebody to lean on to move through to their next step of self awakening.
Absolutely. I have had long-term mentorship for years. Mentors have been pivotal in my path, in my becoming, in my alchemy journey, because I have been able to calibrate and I've been able to borrow their belief in me when I waver. And it's knowing that wherever there's fear, there I go, because on the other side of fear is everything we desire. And on the other side of fear is the greatest gift that we hold. Like our greatest gifts are on the other side. And it's like whenever fear presents, it's asking, is this true? But also knowing that we can face everything and rise, or fear everything and run when fear appears. And those are 2 acronyms for fear that I love so deeply. And so know that fear won't go away. That fear is not designed to stop you. Rather, it's guiding you toward your highest light. And it's the alchemy that happens when you take that step with courage and faith instead of paralyzing yourself in the fear.
I know this all too well because I have had to do so much of this work myself, is really leaning into the things I want to lean away from. And so when you think about the work you're doing with women, and you talk about like the embodiment of what is calling them, but also allowing them to let go, what are some of the, I guess, what are some of the themes, or what are some of the opportunities that many women have that they might not be tapping into yet?
I see it a lot with power, but also feeling confident in their body, feeling in love with themselves, because we've been taught to look for validation and love and power outside of ourselves. And so that's why the body is the key. And it's like the body keeps score. And so when you keep connecting to your body and establishing that sense of trust, your sense of power, confidence, conviction in yourself, and that worthiness that is already inherent within you begins to blossom and expand into every other area of your life. And so it's having the courage to face that which feels shameable or that which feels scary.
Yeah, and I feel like you do so many spiritual practices, and I'm just like, it's hard, I think, for women to learn to start trusting their body.
Mm, it's up until this point, I think, has been hard. And now I feel it's very different. We're in this revolution, like this evolution of embodiment, where it's like, what are the stories that we've been telling ourselves? What are the identities that we've been holding on to that no longer serve us? Because literally our words are codes, and as we speak, we create. So are we speaking into existence that it's hard, that it's not possible, that you're not worthy of that? What are the things that you're experiencing? And then look back and say, well, maybe I was expecting that based on my identity, my thoughts, my feelings. Because when you start to piece that together, you realize you are the alchemist, that everything you intend, everything you speak has a ripple effect.
Hmm. I think that makes so much sense. Words have a code, and I think anyone who's studied the molecules of water, there's several books out there about water,
Mhm.
right? And how you talk to water, and actually the formation of the water when you talk to it positively versus when you talk to it negatively. And I think, we are 70% water. So I feel like many of us have to really be conscious of the frequency that we're holding within us.
Yes, and also to know when there are external frequencies coming in that are limiting us, because nothing can limit us unless we allow it to. So when we're unconsciously saying yes, even when we nod our head when someone's speaking something, it's like subconscious mind takes that on.
Yes. Yes. That's such a good point. And I feel like, you know, yes. I always say you have to pay attention to what you say to yourself,
Yes.
what you pay attention to, what you listen to, what you read. Like, what are all those energy flows around you? And what are you allowing in? What is, I add on what you're saying is what you allow in, because we have the ability to walk away, to disregard, and not embody the information that's being presented to us. And I've actually seen that with friendships or relationships where instead of getting all frustrated or being like, I can't believe they said that or this, that, just have no opinion, just be an observer of what is happening around you. And I feel like eventually it just sort of takes care of itself.
It does, because you let it go. You don't resist it. In resisting something or fighting something, we strengthen it because we're giving our focus to it. So when
Yeah.
we let it go, it's like, okay. And often, like, something women can do is become aware of what they're saying yes to. Like, so often we're saying yes to these things that are actually a no. And it's like, oh, you're this, you're that, you can't do this. And then we just say yes and believe the thoughts in our head, because the thoughts in our mind feel like they're our own when we hear them in our own voice, but they're not actually us, you know?
Oh, yes, I know. Yeah, when you start doing the inner work, I think you start to recognize all the things you've been carrying with you. You have
Yes.
multiple backpacks, not just one,
No.
multiple backpacks of energies, conversations, experiences, emotions. And I think for a lot of times you need help unpacking that backpack and literally saying, do I need this? Do I need that? And I think for many of us, getting to a point where we do have a lighter load allows us to lean more into our whispers and sort of our solid yeses, even if we have this chatter that says, oh gosh, not now.
Absolutely. And knowing that you can take the backpack off at any time.
I
Like
love
it's our
that.
choice to carry it or to release it.
I love it. So tell us a little bit about what's ahead for you. What are you working on?
Yeah, so I have been stepping more into my leadership with embodied wealth and wealth activation. So I have been focusing on cryptocurrency and conscious cryptocurrency to really pioneer a new era for us. We're seeing huge transitions in the financial system right now, and we're seeing we are in the greatest wealth transfer of our time. And it's been, told that cryptocurrency is speculation. However, it is more than that. It is the foundation of the new financial system. And so I have been very passionate about becoming that wealth activator and stepping into consciously investing in cryptocurrency so that I can fund what I'm here to create and to support others in becoming sovereign, free, and wealthy in the way that feels best and aligned for them.
I love that. I hope you keep me posted on that. If you end up doing master classes or just group classes, I'd love to learn more about that.
Oh my gosh, I will send you. So I've done one masterclass already called Decrypted, Decoding Crypto, and I can share the replay with you. And then I'm doing another one that I am going to release the branding for today. And it's called The Evolution of Money, Cryptocurrency in the Golden Age. And, it's like the Satya Yuga and the Kali Yuga. So we're moving out of the Kali Yuga, which is the Iron Age and things were hard and heavy. Now we're moving into the Satya Yuga, which is the Golden Age. And this is really about empowering women to become who they're here to be. And I'm leading Worthy Wealthy Women, the mastermind. So I'm taking a group of women through becoming not just wealthy and abundantly wealthy, but radiantly healthy, because health and wealth coexist and your health is your greatest wealth. So I will definitely share more because it's such an exciting time to be alive and to position ourselves accordingly to receive this wealth, to be stewards of wealth, and to channel it for the highest, greatest evolution of our entire world.
I love that. I love that. I write 3 chapters about money in my last book, Seeking.
Okay.
And, I've done a lot of work around money because when you don't come from money,
Right.
then I was in the tech industry, I made a lot of money. Then I do this work and I have it's just, I have all these money circles around me and I've had to really do the work that money is a frequency too. And you use it for what you want to further. And that has taken me years to figure out. But I'm constantly working on that. Honestly, it's one of those things that is not a one and done for me. I'm constantly working through my money stories and figuring out ways, being a technologist myself, of how to use money for a greater good sounds so exciting. So I definitely would love to stay in touch. And anyone else who's on, you can reach out to either of us and we'll get you the link. We'll put it below so you can access it. And I think it is sort of the piece of the pie that a lot of women don't want to address. But if we kind of crack that side open and gain the confidence around that frequency, it will fuel other things that they're interested in.
Exactly. And I've heard so many people have resistance or say it's too hard, but it's like anything at first that's unfamiliar and new can feel hard. So when we empower ourselves, like we're here to lead this new way. That's why we're called to it. It has its own consciousness and it is a frequency. And so we're continually evolving and you are alchemizing your money relationship. Like you are the alchemist and you're just diving in and contemplating. So I will definitely share the links and welcome you to join us in that because
Oh, I would love that. And thank you so much for sharing your embodied wellness and how this has emerged from your need to heal and how you have used your desire to heal other people, although you did not follow the trajectory that was set by society of how to help people heal. You have redefined the path for yourself through your own self work. And I feel like for so many, it really takes us to go through the journey before we can help others. And I feel like your journey is so powerful and the work that you're doing for others now is so valuable because you've done so many of the steps yourself.
Yes, yes, exactly. It's so true. It's like once we know the way for ourselves, walking with others in the most vulnerable moments is just such an honor because we're all experiencing life in such a unique way.
I love it. I love it. Well, thank you so much for joining us. I'm looking forward to staying connected And for those of you that feel inspired like I do, please reach out. All the links are below, and we will see you soon.
Thank you so much, JJ. It's been a pleasure. Have an incredible day.
Thank you. Thank you. Have a great day, everybody. See you soon. Bye-bye.